Alright, so welcome back to Ark Nova Marine Worlds expansion. Card explanations. So we're finally going to talk about the animal cards and how they function and work. So we're going to start with marine life, because that's a big part of this game. Now normally when I do these videos, I normally do them based on their abilities, and so that way I don't waste time talking about all these different abilities and try to talk about all of them at the same time by having them next to each other, so you can say, hey, this one has the hunter ability, this one has the hunter ability, that one has the hunter ability. So we can skip those two because they have the same ability, right? Basically, that's how I do it. But this is going to be different. So in this game, we have several fish, or should I say several marine life, that have this icon here. This icon, which some of them, well, all of them pretty much have stuff on them. But there's one in here that just simply is a reef icon. That reef icon is only on these marine animals, while these marine animals do not have that reef icon on them. So we're going to talk about these first because of that icon. What does reef cards do? What do reef dweller cards do? Because that's what these are. These are reef dweller marine life. What do these do? Well, whenever you play a card that has a reef icon on it, whenever you play a card that has a reef icon on it, you get to take the reef dweller action and all of your other reef dweller icon actions as well. So, to explain this, we're going to be keeping some of these cards face up even after we're done explaining them. Okay, so we're not going to talk about this stuff mostly because that should be pretty understandable at this point. If you're watching this, you know what most of these mean. Obviously, red borderline means it can't go in normal enclosures. It's just giving you a number in case you have one of those end scoring cards that score you based on how many small animals you have or how many large animals you have, vice versa, right? So we're not going to go over that stuff. We're not going to go over, obviously, everything, but we are going to go over this. So when you play this into your zoo, you get to activate its ability, which is you get to appeal. So that's what that does. You get to activate all of your reef icon abilities. So if this was the first one I played, I'd get 2 appeal extra. So not only do I get the 3 appeal down here, I get the 2 up here. So I get 5 appeal with this clownfish. So hey, you know, that's a good card. So we're going to leave it face up because there's a reason why, obviously. Okay, so here's another one of those that don't have an ability here, right? But it does have a reef icon on it. So when you play this into your zoo, you do get to activate this, which is the clever action, which allows you to, you know, put an action onto tier 1. That's clever. Okay, so that's what that does. But if I play it into my zoo and I already have the clownfish, not only do I get to do the clever action, I also get 2 appeal from my clownfish as well. That's amazing, right? So these are going to activate again and again and again for every time you play a reef dweller icon into your zoo. So let's continue further. Okay, so the Caribbean shark here, Caribbean reef shark, shark attack. Discard 1 animal card in reputation range from the display. So if my reputation range was, oh, I don't know, it included the pygmy hippopotamus, for instance. I could discard this card with this action, and then I get half of the appeal rounding down, so I could discard this to get 3 appeal, plus the 5 appeal here, plus 1 reputation. That's amazing, but it's even better than that. This is an action. Even though this is the same thing as this is an icon action, a reef dweller action, okay? A reef dweller ability icon action. You actually get to, and it states it in the rule book, I would get to perform this twice. So if I play this into my zoo, not only do I get to do the shark attack here, but I get to do the shark attack here as well. So not only am I discarding this and getting appeal for it, I could also discard this frilled lizard and get 2 appeal from that, because that's rounding down. Awesome. But I'd also get to take this action, which allows me to take the clever action. And I get 2 more appeal from my clownfish. Amazing, right? Just amazing. But that's how that's going to work. Okay, cool. Those are amazing cards. Okay, so then, let's say I was to play this one next into my zoo, right? Well, it has the mark ability. It means it gets to take the mark action. So, after finishing this action, you may mark one animal card in the display. So now I get to put, once again, I get to put a cube of my color on an animal. And we explained how marking works, but we'll explain it again just in case you didn't watch my action card video, right? So when you take the marking action, you're going to put a cube on an animal on the display here. Then later on, when that card was to get discarded, because, cards slide down through the display eventually, right, during coffee breaks and things, right? Well, instead of it getting discarded, you get to put the card into your hand. So it's like, hey, I wasn't able to get it, but now I'm going to get it because I marked it, thanks to my magnificent sea anemone. However, what if my opponent was to take a card that was marked? Well, I don't get the card, obviously, but I get 2 money as a consolation prize at least. So that's something. And if you take the animal's action, so I explained this because the animal's action was in the last video. But when you take the animal's action and it's on the red side, I mean you've upgraded it, it allows you to play animals from the display too, up to your reputation range, wherever it may be. So if you played a animal that was marked and it's your mark, not only do you still get the 2 money, but obviously you're playing it, but you're getting the 2 money as well, basically. So if I was to play it, I would still get, obviously, my money still, because I'm not getting it by simply. It has to be discarded. It has to be discarded in order to get to put it into your hand, okay? So that's cool. So that's how that's going to work. And you get to do this twice. Did I say twice? Yes, because you get to do it once here, and you get to do it once here. So when you play this sea anemone, you're getting to do it twice. And then you get to do your shark, and then you get to do your clever, and then you get your 2 appeal from your clownfish. Amazing. Let's continue. Okay, well, I've explained how constriction works, so I'm not going to do that in this video. I'm not going to explain how constriction works because I explained it in previous Arc Nova videos. Same thing with Clever. We've already talked about it anyway. So the abilities here have nothing to really do with what's here. If you play this card into your zoo, of course you have to have a science institute, first of all, before you play this into your zoo, unless you have obviously something that allows you to ignore that, right? After you play it into your zoo and you do all your actions you're going to do, if you're going to do this one or this one, that doesn't really matter. After you play it into your zoo, you get to draw a card up to your reputation range, or just simply draw a card, right? So you get to do that. But then you also get to mark an animal, and you also get to do shark attack, and you also get to do clever, and you also get 2 more appeal for your clownfish. Man, I just love these combos. Okay, moving on. Okay, so we've also talked about how this works in previous Arc Nova videos, but we are going to explain it because this is the same thing as this, okay? So this is Boost Sponsors. After finishing this action, you may place your Sponsors action on either the 1-tier slot or the 5-tier slot, okay? So if I play this card, I get to do it, and I get to do it again. I get to do it twice. I get to do it here, and I get to do it here when I play it. So I play it into my zoo. I get to do this ability, do it again here. I get to draw up to reputation range. I get to mark another animal. I get to do shark attack. I get to move. I get to be clever again, and I get 2 more appeal. Man, I'm just so clever. I just can't help it. Okay, so here we have the coastal manta ray. Now you'll notice once again, this is an animal that has an ability that's different from its reef ability. Okay. But this is new. Glide 3 is new. So let's talk about my favorite manta ray. Coastal manta ray. One of my favorite animals, coastal manta ray. Awesome. I love these guys. Okay, so you can discard up to 3 cards from your hand. Okay. And then for every marine life icon on those 3 cards, you gain one of these 3 effects. 1 for each icon. So if you had 3 of them, you're getting 3 of these effects. If you happen to have one of those cards that had 2 of those, plus the other 2 had 1 each, then you could still get 4 effects, right? Gain 1 of the 3 effects. But you gain 1 of these 3 effects, all right? So only 1. So even if you had 4, you'd still only get the 3 because you're only getting one of these three. Or should I say, per icon, right? You could increase your reputation. You could get 2 appeal. You could place a kiosk. You could do all 3 of those if you had 3 marine life icons. Pretty cool getting to do all those if you wanted to. It already gives you 8 appeal on its own, right? And it already gives you 1 reputation when you play it anyway. Because manta rays are cool. That's why they give you reputation. But then, when you play it into your zoo, after you've done your Glide 3, you get 1 conservation point, because you get to activate all your reef abilities. So you get 1 conservation point. And you get to take boost sponsors. And you get to take drawing up to your reputation range. And you get to mark an animal. And you get to do shark attack. And I get to be clever again. And I get 2 appeal from my orange clownfish. Just amazing. Just saying, amazing. Okay. Humphead Ressie. Here's another one of those animals that you have to have a science institute to play. Ooh, and it gives you a conservation point and 6 appeal. Extra shift. You may return one of your association workers to your notepad. What does this mean? I already explained this in the card action ability, but this is an animal that has the same thing, so we'll explain it again just in case you didn't watch that. What that means is if you have an association worker on this association board, so you can kind of see it up here, right? So you have an association worker there. It's saying you get to take him and he gets an extra shift. He goes back to your notepad so you can take an association action again before the next coffee break. That's basically what that means. That's what extra shift is going to do. It's going to bring your association workers that you have to your notepad, but only 1. But because this icon here is actually the same thing as this, and this icon was also on the card action card too. Well, not card action, but it was on the it was on one of those tokens. Remember, it was in the first video we talked about various new tokens, and for some odd reason it's buried. Oh, here it is, under everything. So see, it's the same icon as this. So if you watched my first video, the how to play video, basically, then I already explained it, and it obviously is the same icon as, well, that's on there. So that's how that's going to work. So you get to do it twice. You get to do it here, and then obviously I play it into my zoo. I get to do that. I get 1 conservation point. I get to do boost sponsors. I get to draw up to my reputation range. I get to mark an animal. I get to do shark attack. I get to be clever, and I get 2 appeal. Amazing, right? Oh, man, just think of the possibilities if you go heavy here and just get tons of marine life. Imagine the possibilities. And see, we still have lots of reef dwellers here, so we're not done yet. Okay, let's continue on. Well, the southern blue-ringed octopus, its 2 abilities I explained in previous Arc Nova videos. These are not new abilities. But you notice these are also different from its reef ability. So after you've done whichever one you're going to do, if you're playing main, Venom, if you're not playing main, Incentive, after you've done that, and you play it into your zoo, you get 3 money for its reef ability. Then you'd get to do extra shift again. Then you get 1 conservation point. I mean, if you have all these cards. Then you get to do boost sponsors. Then you get to draw up to reputation range. Mark, shark attack, clever, 2 appeal. Amazing. Okay, so here we go. The Shark-Nosed Goby now, it has abilities here that obviously have nothing to do with this. So we're going to explain this. Symbiosis. Use 1 ability, not a reef dweller effect, or of 1 other sea life card in your zoo. So this means I cannot use Symbiosis on, for instance, this, and so on, right? So I can't use it on those reef dweller effects. I can only use it on the actual abilities. And I can't trigger the reef dweller effects either. So, I just can't. It won't let me. So that's what that's going to do. So I could, for instance, take this action, for instance. Adapt. All right? We'll talk about that later. But yeah, there you go. But it also is helpful. And you'll notice it says it has no reef dweller effect of its own. So when you play the Shark-Nosed Goby into your zoo, after you've taken the Symbiosis action, you then are helpful and get to activate all of these. Ooh, I get 3 money. Ooh, extra shift. Ooh, 1 conservation point. Marking, shark attack, 2 appeal. Yay, look at all that. There you go. So that's what that does. Okay. The pallet surgeonfish. Okay. Well, the action is the exact same thing as this. You may trade exactly 1 X marker for 5 money or vice versa. So you can pay 5 money for an X marker. So when you do this, you can potentially do this twice on the same turn. You could do it again. You could do it here, and then you could do it again here because it's the same thing. So if I play this into my zoo, I can, for instance, play it into my zoo, activate my trade, get a conservation point, get 2 appeal, do shark attack, yada, 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 yada. Cool, right? Get 3 money. So yeah, that's how that's going to work, right? Okay. So the devil firefish, you need one of those science icons, obviously. And once again, these are actions that we're all familiar with or should be familiar with. But if you were to play this into your zoo after you do one of these two, the devil firefish, okay, you get an X token, and then a conservation, and then 3 money, and 2 appeal, and shark attack, and I get to mark. And remember, I can do this in any order I want. That's why I'm kind of mixing them going now. I was just like boom, 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 but now I'm like here or here or here. You can do this in any order you want. So when you do a reef dweller that's going to cause a combo of stuff to happen, you can do it in any order you want. So just thought I'd make a mental note of that. Okay, so we got 3 more of these particular cards. Okay, so posturing. We know what posturing does because it's not a new action, but it is here on this icon. So you may place 1 free kiosk or pavilion. That's what posturing 1 does. And so if I was to take this action, play this animal into my zoo, I would then get to do it again. I could do posturing again. I could do conservation. I could do 3 money. I could do 2 appeal. Shark attack. There you go. Okay. All right, so this is not a new ability here, but it is here. So with the blue spotted ribbon tail ray, you get to take the digging action. And we know how the digging action works, and it says it right there if you forget. But then after you do this action and you play this animal into your zoo, well, then that means you get to do digging again and get a conservation point and get 2 appeal and do a shark attack and get 3 money, okay? So, yeah. Okay, and then we have the guinea fowl puffer fish, or puffer. Once again, the abilities are the same as anything you've seen in the base game. And obviously the reef dweller effect here is different from it. So if I was to play this into my zoo and I already decided to do venom or whatever I was going to do, I'd get, 1 reputation. 1 conservation point. 3 money. I get to mark. Shark attack. Clever. 2 appeal. And that's all of the reef dweller cards. So if we're going to continue, I think what we're going to do is we're going to separate this into 2 animal videos, okay? We'll talk about the other animals in the next video for sure. Because otherwise this is going to be like 40, 45 minutes long for this particular video. So we'll probably just call this video the reef dweller animals. Probably. So if you guys liked this video, don't forget to leave me a like, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.